Hello friends, welcome back. So last video I have showed you overall what is the form and what is the process for filing for green card adjudication. So this video is basically dedicated to a specific form which is called I-485, which is a basic form for adjudication of status. So let's start with this form. Okay. You have to open your Google and then you have to type it I-485 form, and it will take you to USCIS's site, and then you have to download this form. Okay, so this is the latest form. So you can mention, you can see over there, it has the right hand side has mentioned expire 10/31. This is very important. When you fill the form, always fill from the latest expiry date. Do not fill from the expired form, otherwise it will whole process will be rejected. So you can see the form that I downloaded, it is expiring on the end of this month. So you have to very careful, if you file before October you have to use this form, otherwise you have to wait for after October to get the new form. So this is that form you have to use, and you can fill with your own or you can use your attorney also to help you file that form. So I fill it from my own, but you could also take help from attorney, which may charge you $1000 or 1500 based on their fees. So I am not sure about that, but you can also take help from them. So this form is I admit that this is a very lengthy form, but you have to very careful while filling this form, otherwise it is going to be case or reason for the denial. Okay. So now I will go with the step by step how to fill it very carefully. Okay. So this is the first section where you can say current one, legal name. So you have to put your name, and if there is any change in your name after you file, then you have to use this section. Okay. If not, you have to ignore it. And then other information about you section, which will basically give you the information about date of birth and your gender and city or place of birth, you can see. And then you can see the how it move from 7 point. For example, you can see my cursor. So from 7 point it is moving to 8 on the left side. So form is like that. Okay. So here you can see from 7 you can move to 8. So country of birth, and then you have to country of nationality and alien number. So this is also important. So alien number, if you got, you need to give. Most probably you will not have the alien number unless and until you will fill it the EAD and all. So or the fill it through USCIS 485. So you will not have that one, but if you have, you can fill, otherwise skip that one. You have to use the USCIS account number. So USCIS account number you can fill in case you are using the I-40. So that would be your USCIS account number. Social security number you can fill it, and you can also fill your US mailing address, very detailed address you have to fill, and then you can move it to the top of them. So this is also very important, recent immigration history. So here you need to fill your last arrival, departure, passport information. So give very correct information. So try to get it from the site that I mentioned. You can Google it, the my latest I-94, and then add your name and your passport and date of birth. You will get the form, and there itself you can get that information. So this is also, you can get that I-94 4, right. So maybe I could show you how to get that one quickly if you want, and you could see my latest I-94. Here you can go. Yes, here you can go. Got my latest my I-94. You need to get consent, and here you can fill your date of birth and all, passport number and all, and then click next. So it will give you the whole set of information which you need to be added over here. You can see, right. I am coming back to this status, last date of arrival and all, form 194. So you can get that one, get that information. So next is that what is the current immigration status, that you can mention. Part 2, application type of filing category. So if you are filing for yourself, then you can check it as a principal applicant, okay. And then if you are family based, you need to fill family based. Whatever is that application, you need to mention that. Here you can say employment based, right. So you have to mention on the 3A basically, because you are a alien worker, so you need to 3A, you have to click it, right. Forget about this asylum and refugee if you are not, okay. And then you may not be applicable these particular also, so you can ignore it, no need to fill if you are not applicable for these. In case you are a primary applicant, then you have to mention receipt number, priority date from the I-40, and then you can move it to the next section, which is derivative applicant. So I don't think so it is applicable. If not, then you could skip that also, okay. And then it will ask for the additional information. So basically this additional information section will help you help basically USCIS to determine your overall status and where do you stay in the US or where do you stay before US. So that information you need to mention over here, right. You can see address history, right. You could mention the, be very particular about date and basically address, and then move to the employment history. So you can see employment history is something you have to fill based on your employment details. So that also you can fill carefully, employer, employment address and all. And next is information about your parents. So that is also important. You need to mention about the parent name and their last name, first name. So be very careful about the information, date of birth and their current address of residence. Now we will come to the marital information. So marital information, status about marital information is something that you need to fill, and we'll move to the current marital status. So that also you need to fill. And prior marriage, if you are not, then do not fill that one. Now comes to the about your children. So that has to be filled also about your children. So how many children are there, and that you need to fill. In case they don't have a number, so do not fill that, that's not a problem, right. You need not have to fill a number in case they don't have. So all the child you need to mention. And then biographic information, for example, like where do you stay, which what is your origin, basically, like that is what you have to fill. In case if you belong for India, then you have to fill non-Hispanic, ethnicity, and race would be Asian. And then the biographic information. So biographic information is something you have to fill based on the height, weight, color, and hair color that you need to fill. And general eligibility and admissibility ground. So this is something you can fill, or I mean, if you are applicable, or if you are not applicable, then leave it. You need not have to fill, right? And there is a question on that, so you have to ignore it. If you have not filled it, then you need to ignore it, because that is what you have not done it, so you are not applicable for that. Now the criminal act and violation, that's something you have to mention on that one. So basically, if you are convicted by any means, you have to mention. If not, then mention no for all these questions. So this is a continuation of yes no question. Read very carefully, be very genuine in the question answer. And then you have to give declaration over there, like this is a disability declaration. And then applicant statement, you have to mention that whether you have filled or you need someone have filled for you, then you can mention on that. And applicant client contact information, you can put your contact information also with the phone number, email address, and then you have to put the application signature. So one thing I would like to tell you, in case you are filing for yourself, then you can fill it, but in case you are filing for your child, then you have to put the name of your basically one moment, I will tell you. Then you have to, in case you are filing for dependent under 14, then you have to sign yourself and mention bracket on behalf of your child name. So do not let your child to fill the sign the basically on that form if your child is below 18 years. So you can sign and mention the bracket on behalf of my child. Okay. This is very important. And this is the interpreter emailing address. In case you fill it from interpreter, that needed to be filled, otherwise ignore it. Yeah, and last is important, because in case you have some information about your remaining in parts, for example, if your address is more than 3, then you can mention over here. If your date of birth is if your place of birth, place of the stay is more than 3, then you can mention over there. So this is basically additional information where you need to mention over there. Okay. If you have more than 3 child, remember there is a form where you can mention. I can show you quickly where you have mentioned somewhere that you have a child, right? Child 2, child 3. So if you have more than 3 child, then you need to mention over there, right? Part 6, right? You can see part 6, right? So you can mention over there that you have more than here you can mention this under 6 part. You can mention if you have more than 3 child, so you can mention there. So this is all about the form for the adjudication of status 485. So I believe this overall information will be helpful. So I am thankful for you to see my site and view my video. So we'll see you in the next video. So bye bye, thank you very much, we'll see you.